Warm welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know what you're thinking. If all priests were this hot, those little boys would stop complaining. Stop it. Stop it. Don't encourage me. Right, let me take this off. This thing is so hot, you wouldn't believe it. Right, we are, you're actually here for a very serious reason. Let me just take this wonderful thing off. It's lovely, but I think it might be polyester.
Take the rest off!
Later. Try not to bang them. All right, well, we are, dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to mark the passing, not of Hillary, she's not in there, not yet. I know what, don't. Not of Harambe, he's not in there. Not even of Glenn Beck. Who has it? No, stop it. Stop it. No, Glenn Beck, I understand, is on suicide watch. As of a couple of hours ago, after Ted Cruz decided to endorse Donald Trump. No, we are here to mark the passing of another American institution. I'm talking, of course, about an institution that started with the promise of hope, with the vibrancy and vitality of youth. Started beloved, but ended its life in ignominy. Speaking, of course, about Twitter. Did any of you have a look in here? Did you get a chance to have a little look? I think I seem to be rumbling, if somebody can try to fix that. Did you see? Look, isn't he sweet? It's a raven, that's all we could find. Right. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about why it is that I am declaring today Twitter to be an ex-social network, why I'm declaring Twitter dead. And God has a habit of smiling down on the dangerous faggot, as you know. No, because he may hate fags, but he hates feminists more. Just this morning, we found out that Twitter is up for sale. It is flogging itself to whoever will take the shattered remnants of what once looked like it might be the most powerful social network on the planet. Some of the rumored acquirers include Salesforce and Google. But at this point, the company is sort of accepted that it has not met its promise. We're going to talk a little bit today about why, and then I'm going to ask you to join me in sending off Twitter. That will become clear later. Being sold to another company is a sort of corporate equivalent of deleting your account. And Twitter is now on the brink of a humiliating fire sale after years of a nosediving stock price. This comes as the company loses key staff. And at its inception, Twitter, of course, was a bright young thing. It was the new face of social media. It was going to revolutionize the planet. Now it is, well, you can see for yourself. How did this happen? Well, it wasn't just because they banned their most fabulous user. It's very sad. Very sad. Don't laugh. Why would you laugh at that? You're awful, horrible people. Why would you laugh at that? Now, some of the nails in the coffin are more apparent than others, like Twitter's legal problems. Even Twitter's own investors are filing lawsuits against it. Now, I don't want to bore you with too much legal detail, but basically, Twitter's been trying to cover up the fact that its user numbers are nosediving by changing the metrics that they measure user growth with. But the problem is they didn't tell their investors, or at least that's what the investors allege, and that might be illegal. So that's one of the things that's on their plate at the moment. One way Twitter allegedly misled its investors was with incredibly rosy user projections. They claimed they'd have 550 million users in the intermediate term and 1 billion sometime in the future, which now looks ridiculous. With Twitter's tiny user growth rate, our descendants might be memeing from Mars before Twitter reaches 1 billion users. It's probably never going to happen. And there are some really serious charges here. Twitter is accused of misleading investors. by not disclosing material changes to the company. There are 12 law firms currently investing Twitter. This is the sharks circling because they sent blood in the water. Now, I'm going to tell you a few reasons why they think they're failing and why I think they're failing and why that matters for free speech and for politics and for the coming election. I'll start by considering Black Lives Matter. They're outside. Did you see them? Did you see them? Did you see them? Good heavens. I've had all my jokes stricken out by the editor-in-chief about Black Lives Matter. I can't do any of them. Twitter's investors have taken very serious losses on stock recently. It dropped from about $50 a share to just 18 today. Investors don't get mad, they get even. Well, actually, they get very mad, and then they lawyer up and get even. And the investors I'm talking to have cited Black Lives Matter as one of the examples of Twitter's poor judgment. Now, they have various problems. They have the Milo problem. I'm kind of like the Holy Ghost. I pop up, where you're least expecting it. Sort of like the Jesus of social media. After being banned from Twitter permanently, I requested, did you know I did this? Did you hear I did this? I requested in Europe, we have much stricter consumer protection laws. So in Europe, you're allowed to ask a company for all of the information it holds about you, and it's obliged to hand it over. So I put in a request for all of the data that Twitter holds on me, and they're stalling. They're stalling. We're going to get to why that's important because I have an exciting announcement. I'm launching something today, which I hope that some of any students here from Europe or any friends watching on the live stream, which I know there'll be tens of thousands of people watching, I'm launching something very exciting if you are a customer of Twitter in Europe later on. So I have requested my data. I don't think they're going to want to give me my data because I think my data reveals that they basically banned me for being a conservative. And the reason that I worry about that is not just because I am a hopeless egotist, but also because I care about you guys, and you guys are going to be the victims of this next. Nobody notices when an anonymous or a regular person's Twitter account gets nuked. Nobody notices and nobody cares. We only notice when it happens to Azalea Banks or to me. But it is going to happen to you, and they are coming for you, and that's why I think the network is basically dead. Now, when I asked Barack Obama's press secretary, Josh Earnest, about social media censorship at a White House press briefing in March, he sounded like Milton Friedman. No, he did. No, he did. I'd never heard anything like it from the Obama White House. He said, part of what's built into our system is a respect for private companies to put in place their own policies. Well, this was remarkable to me. That this is flying in the face of tens of thousands of lines of registration from the Obama White House, of legislation rather, from the Obama White House, regulating what companies can and can't do. And then he said something even more remarkable. Then he said, the president will be the first person to affirm that the success of these social networking companies rests on their commitment to First Amendment principles, to free speech principles. So in other words, you can't force Twitter to start treating you guys fairly, but you can at least point out that it's bad business if they don't. And the more that they start clamping down on conservatives, the more that they prioritize Black Lives Matter and crazy feminist bitches over perfectly, well, they are, over perfectly respectable. I'll tell you a little story. I am in Out magazine, which is a gay magazine, which I don't normally pay much attention to, except that they offered to do a very nice glossy photo shoot of me and an 8-page spread. So I said, yeah, okay. So I wouldn't normally bother with the gay press. Anyway, very good article. The loony fags of the media have gone crazy about it because somebody dared to write a profile of me that was in any way nuanced or intelligent. But the interesting thing that happened at the photo shoot, Amanda Marcotte, who is a sort of mannish, unimpressive, unintelligent, I think she's a lesbian, I have no idea, feminist correspondent for Salon. Has anyone here read Salon? It's a sort of psychotic blog. Anyway, so she comes and gate crashes the photo shoot. And she's getting all this footage of me while I'm getting made up in drag. And I don't know whether that's because she thinks that's embarrassing. Trust me, it isn't. People have walked in on me and doing far worse things than that. Let me put it this way. My housekeeper has had 11 raises in 3 years. I always forget when she's due. So she publishes this video saying, here, the truth, the video footage showing Milo Yiannopoulos as he really is. And it's 3 seconds or 15 seconds of me saying that I think that that body positivity is a load of old garbage and feminism is wrong. What they cut was 15 minutes of me nailing her to the wall, metaphorically. Google her, honestly, no. Nailing her to the wall after a series of nonsensical questions. Very, very extraordinary. Terrible person. And these are the sorts of people. The reason I was telling you this story, she complained because I called her a bitch. And so journalists got in touch with me and said, did you call someone from Salon a bitch? And I said, mm-hmm. And he said, well, you were probably right. Can I print that you said that you did? And I said, yeah. So you'll see that tomorrow. You'll see that tomorrow. Now, I'll get back to it. Some legal minds have been thinking over some of the complaints that people have about Twitter. Has anyone here ever been suspended for anything they think they shouldn't have been? There's a couple of, not for something you shouldn't have been. You think you've been suspended for something you think you should have been suspended for. Who has been suspended here? So we had a couple, little smattering of hands. All right. Who was it over here? Yeah, you. What did you say? You got suspended for hate speech. For hate speech. You don't look a very hateful person. You look lovely. Good heavens. Well, this is one of the problems. So many people are trying to think of lawsuits and ways to punish Twitter because ordinary decent people are being branded hateful by this terrible company. What they're doing is they're mischaracterizing criticism and ridicule, which conservatives are much better at because we're much smarter and much funnier than the other side. Well, we are.